people ask me all the time, Rich, what was your very first cycle? Now, my first cycle was basically the same as everyone else's first cycle. You know, it's very common for people to start off with test and DECA. You know, that's a common, just mild, you know, cycle that is going to get you decent results. But being the first time that I had ever taken anything, I actually got pretty dramatic results. And I have to say that, you know, my first cycle was probably my best cycle ever. And I put on 28 pounds in 8 weeks, you know, taking test and DECA. And I was just taking 1 cc of each a week, you know, and a lot of people out there might say, oh, that's impossible. Oh, there's no way, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, honestly, the truth is I put on 28 pounds. I was getting ready for a show as a teenager. I was 18 years old. And I would have to say that probably 22 pounds of that 28 was pure muscle. And that I know for sure. And so, you know, I went from weighing 185, you know, to bouncing up over 200 pounds in 8 weeks and, you know, competing in a show and, you know, taking first and winning the overall. And, you know, I have to say that, you know, my bench press, you know, I was very strong as a kid and I was benching 315 when I graduated high school. So, you know, adding in that test and DECA, my bench went up to 405. And now when I say 405, that was, you know, a little bit of a spot, you know, arching my back and doing everything I possibly could to get that weight up. You know what I mean? So it was not a legal clean 405. You know, I was getting 365 for, you know, 2, almost 3 reps, you know, and then throwing the 4 plates, and my buddy, you know, my partner was helping me a little bit. So, you know, honestly, I didn't legitimately hit a 405, but, you know, for my bench to go up as much as it did was pretty amazing. And, you know, that's basically my experience, and that was my first cycle. And, you know, I have to be honest, and the truth is I was hooked, man. I was hooked because, you know, my body just grew in front of me. You know, it was growing, my strength was exploding, and, you know, I was going to be one of the top bodybuilders of the world, and I was not going to stop. You know, I was hooked, and I knew I was hooked, and this is, at this point, I knew this is all that mattered to me.